Hey guys, RanterInShades here, exercise my first memorites vlog style, here with episode 7 of Shades shirt collection. I know these videos aren't exactly everybody's favorite from me, but honestly this is one of those times where I just gotta say, it's my channel, I'll do what I want, I'll make whatever videos I feel like making. Which is not to say that I don't want to make videos that my audience enjoys, or that I don't care about my audience, I don't care about what they want to see. It's not to say that at all. But this is just, something that, I enjoy doing every once in a while, and, I have a decent time making, and a series I like updating and whatnot, and if, people want to watch it, they can. If it's not your thing, then, there's always the next video. So, I figured I'd make this a bi-yearly thing, where, I do this, like, twice a year, like, have 1 or 2 episodes at like the middle of the year and like 1 or 2 more at like the end of the year, or whenever it is that I'm done going to concerts for the year. So here we are for like the first half of the year. I just saw Warped, so I figured now is as good a time as ever to make another episode for this series. So let's begin. And I figured I'd take on a different editing style for this, where, you can still see me on camera and, have something visually interesting. And so here's what we're going to start with. This is a shirt that I picked up at Hot Topic at like the beginning of the year. I think I was doing something to like activate my phone, my new phone that I'd gotten at the time. And one of the shirts that I picked up there was Knuckle Puck. I had gotten a Knuckle Puck shirt previously when I had seen them at Warped in 2016, but I liked the design of this one a considerable amount better. I liked the colors of it better. I thought it had a nicer design. I mean, I thought the last one had some okay colors, but this one I just like the colors of better and the design of better, so I figured, why not? Pick this up. They're cool. I like the blue and red that they got going, along with the white. My only gripe is that I wish the design was bigger, but, it's still a not bad shirt. And it says 2016 over there because that's when the shirt was made, as well as, when they were touring and whatnot. It's obviously not when they formed. But yeah, not bad shirt here. Next, we have my Nonpoint shirt. I picked this up when I saw Alter Bridge live back in February. They were on tour for The Last Hero. It was a great show. I had a lot of fun, as I tend to when I see Alter Bridge live. And Nonpoint, I think, was a great band for them to have open for them. They're a band that is, I think, kind of underrated in regards to nu metal and alternative metal. Of course, they have, a pretty, dedicated fan base, but I never really saw them as getting, I guess, the acclaim that I always thought they deserved. They're a great band, and this shirt depicts their newest album from 2016, The Poison Red. I like that it's a red shirt. We got a frog over there. Frogs are cool. Their logo looks cool. I like the font that they got going, and this is a shirt that I think was a good pickup if I'm going to have a Nonpoint shirt. And Nonpoint in general, I just think is a great band. One of the better, alternative metal, nu metal bands. Of course, one reason I love them is because they do the intro song that I use in my What's Wrong With videos, which I've had some people ask me what that song is called, even though it, says it up in the corner, Alive and Kickin' by Nonpoint. I think it's one of the best songs ever written. I also got a selfie taken with the guys in Nonpoint, as well as got a signed set list that I have hanging up here in my office that I'll have a picture of up here. I didn't get an Alter Bridge shirt because I didn't really like the designs, and I liked the design of my current Alter Bridge shirt leaps and bounds more, so I just, I'm just gonna keep this as my Alter Bridge shirt, and since I'm not gonna pick up a shirt there, I'm gonna pick up a shirt from Nonpoint because I don't have them in my collection, so there you go. And on the back we have this little logo thing. It looks like a spider, I guess. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, but there it is. Next, this one has a very good story to it. It's my Polyphia shirt. You can't exactly tell that it's a Polyphia shirt unless you're familiar with the picture here, which of course I was, since that's the picture that they used to advertise their tour, so it was recognizable enough for me that I'm like, yeah, this is the shirt I'm gonna get. This was a concert that I got VIP tickets for back in the beginning of March. I got VIP tickets because it wasn't that expensive. A VIP ticket cost as much as like a general admission ticket at House of Blues, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking jump on this because, you know, they're one of, in my opinion, the best newer bands out right now, and I would love to ask them some questions, which I did get to ask them, you know, some questions about, you know, being a professional musician, starting out, and stuff like that. They were super cool and super nice, especially Scott and Clay. They were really cool. Tim was sort of quiet, but they were really nice guys, and I took a really nice picture with them that I used as my profile picture on Facebook for a very long time. I also got a signed tour poster over here, which you can see they had opening for them Jason Richardson and Covet. I had known of Covet a bit. Basically, I was doing research into them because I saw that they were on this bill. I figured, hey, I should check them out, see what they're about, and next thing I know, on Facebook, I am a part of Chon's Facebook group, the Chon Homies, where a video of Yvette Young, the guitarist in Covet, was being shared in there, and I didn't realize at that point that she was a part of this band that was on the bill. So I'm like, holy fuck, I love this band even more now. And Jason Richardson, I was so excited when I heard that he was on the bill, because he plays a guest solo in probably Polyphia's most well-known song, Aviator, which was my introduction to Polyphia, actually, and I just knew it was pure magic when they played Aviator and Jason Richardson came on stage to play his solo. It was pure magic. It was amazing. But anyway, the shirt has some nice colors to it, has a recognizable picture if you're familiar with their tour poster. Obviously, those two people aren't the members in the band, but, you know, I thought it was a pretty cool design. And we got tour dates on the back. The Lit AF tour, the Lit as Fuck tour, that's what this was. It's named after their song Lit, which was a remix of their song Light from their newest album, Renaissance. We got tour dates on the back, and right down there is where, you know, it actually says Polyphia. I really wish, you know, their name was written somewhere on the front, but whatever. This was the design that I liked best. I also got a selfie with Yvette Young, I forgot to mention here. I got a selfie with her. It was really nice. She was cool. Next, we got a shirt from a band that I'm not sure most people watching this have heard of, but hopefully you will look into them after I'm done here. The band is called Abandoned by Bears, and as you can see on the shirt, they are from Sweden. They're an easycore band from Sweden. Basically, their style is, they basically take the easycore kind of stuff and add some electronic elements into it. I have them labeled in my iTunes as post-hardcore because, you know, they sort of fall sort of in the middle. I consider post-hardcore to be like the middle ground between pop punk and metalcore. That's basically how I define easycore. I found out about Abandoned by Bears through the band that I was seeing live this day, Bad Case of Big Mouth, or as they're now calling themselves, Bad Case. They decided to shorten their name. And I hadn't seen Bad Case in like 3 years. It had been a long time since I'd even seen them in person, and when I heard that they were playing in Mass over in Worcester, I decided, you know what, I really need to see them. It's been a while, and I had found out about Abandoned by Bears through them, actually, so hey, I get to see them also. They're cool. And it was cool, you know, catching up with, you know, the guys in Bad Case, which there are only like 2 of the original guys from the last time I had seen them still in the band, but we'll get to that later. I decided to pick up a shirt from Abandoned by Bears because I liked this design. I liked the, you know, I guess Chicago Bears font, which I guess it was supposed to parody. I like the colors. I like it. It's a gray shirt. There's a bear trap for some reason. I guess, you know, that's what caused the bears to abandon you. They stepped in the bear trap. And it also says Estate, MMXII, which is the Roman numeral for 2012, which is when the band formed. I also like how they're from Sweden. They're coming over here to the States, playing in a kind of small place. It's cool. And they put on a pretty cool show. Bad Case also put on a very nice show. I had a nice time this day. There was a lot of bands on this bill that I got an introduction to at this show. I had a lot of fun. Next, we got another Hot Topic shirt. You'll remember at the end of the last Shades shirt collection video when I was talking about the Set Your Goals shirt that I got, that I was kind of disappointed that it was one of those shirts where the full design is on the back and the shrunken version of the design is like right up here in the breast area. Well, I was in Hot Topic one day, saw that they had Set Your Goals shirts, and this is the exact design, the exact Mutiny design, except it's on the front now, so just an update there. I'm not really going to repeat myself there, but I'm just glad that this is on the front now, so good job. Next we have my Bad Case shirt. I decided since, you know, they shortened their name, I might as well update my apparel. And this was the design I liked the best, you know, because I liked the font. It was like the shirt I could see myself wearing, even though this isn't part of my regular rotation. But this was the one that I ended up picking up. Like I mentioned before, they had lost a good bit of their members. The only members from when I last remembered them, it was pretty much just Tyler, the clean singer, and James, one of the guitarists. They got a new second guitarist named Justin, and I think the bassist that they got now is an official member. His name's Keith. I'm not sure if he's officially a member yet. I don't know. I have no idea what the story is with their drummer, but they don't have a scream vocalist anymore, which I personally am kind of saddened by because I loved the, I guess, texture that the scream vocals added to their sound. Now they're basically, you know, a more traditional pop-punk band, which I don't have a problem with. I just think what they had going back when they had two vocalists was more unique, I guess. But it's whatever. I'll still support them either way. They're still cool guys. They still have great music. So, yeah. Next, we got a series of concerts that I went to all in the span of 2 weeks. And 4 out of the 5 of these took place in New York, either because they weren't playing anywhere in Massachusetts or they conflicted with already pre-existing plans that I had had. So what I do if a band isn't playing in Mass, or if I can't see them in Mass, is I drive to like the next nearest state that they're playing in, whether it's New York or maybe it's New Hampshire, you know, one of those states, or Connecticut maybe. Either of those will work. This is a band that did not have a Massachusetts date, so I drove to New York to see them. This band would be Nothing More. Nothing More, I think, is another one of the best newer bands out right now. I love their albums. I love The Few Not Fleeting and the self-titled, and they got a new album coming out later this year, The Stories We Could Tell Ourselves, that I'm really looking forward for. They put on a really, really cool show here. They were really energetic, especially the singer, Johnny Hawkins. He was just going nuts and whatnot. They put on a really fun show, and I like this design here. It's simple, and it's also really comfy. We got their logo along with the Greek lettering down there. I like the colors here, the yellow and white over black. It's not too bland and blah. It's got a little bit going for it. Unfortunately, there are no tour dates on the back, which I would have loved, but still, I like this shirt a lot. They had 3 openers, and only one of them I really cared about at all, that I'm actually following now, and that would be As Lions, which is fronted by Bruce Dickinson's son, Austin. He has this band now. He used to front a metalcore band called Rise to Remain. This one is more alternative heavy metal, which I like a good bit. They had the best sound out of the 3 openers. The other 2 were either not really interesting or were just, you know, boring and stuff like that, which is not meant to be any offense, but As Lions, I think, was the most interesting of the 3 openers. Next was another person that was not playing in Massachusetts at all, and weirdly enough, I was seeing him at the same venue that I had seen Nothing More at just 2 days prior, and this would be Yngwie Malmsteen, or Yngwie Malmsteen, as I sometimes pronounce it, which is kind of a force of habit, because that's how I used to pronounce it when I first heard who he was. I'm still trying to get used to the actual pronunciation. But yeah, Malmsteen is somebody that I've been wanting to see for years, but he's just never been on tour. And finally, I jump at the opportunity, and I do not regret it. He put on a really awesome show. He was having a lot of fun on stage, just tearing the fucking Strat apart. and destroying a couple, actually. And just having a lot of fun. He's kind of an asshole, he's kind of arrogant, but on stage he's just having a ball, and I like that. He's a really talented guitarist, one of the founding fathers of neoclassical shred guitar, which I will always respect him for. The shirt here depicts the cover of his album Trilogy, which last year turned 30 years old. So I guess that's why they have the cover as an option for shirts. It's kind of corny. It shows him firing at a three-headed dragon with his guitar. It's kind of cheesy, but at the same time, musically, it's probably my favorite of his albums, along with Rising Force. I chose this one because I think it comes out on top of Rising Force just by a little, and I like the colors that it's, you know, that it has going on, the orange, yellow, red kind of stuff. And I like the way that his logo looks. I've always really liked that sort of classical looking font that he has for his logo. And we have tour dates on the back. The World on Fire, USA and Canada, 2017. World on Fire was the name of his newest album, and the tour date's on the back right there. Next band I saw in this series, back over in New York, another 2 days later, was State Champs. I didn't get this shirt at the show because I didn't really like any of the designs. I went on their website, or not technically their website, Pure Noise's website, and got this shirt because I thought it looked really, really cool, and it feels really nice. I love the colors, the yellow and white over red. It's a shirt I very much enjoy. It's got their classic logo with the around the world and back globe, even though it says the finer things. I don't know if you can see right down at the bottom of the globe, and there's a little silhouette picture of the band performing behind the thing, which is also pretty cool. And it also says I Don't Want to Walk Alone, which is a reference to their song Prepared to Be Noticed from their album The Finer Things. Personally, I put Around the World and Back over The Finer Things just by a little, and they also, from what they said at this show, they're gonna be working on new material for this year, I believe, or maybe next year, I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. They had 3 openers at this show, Don Brocco, With Confidence, and Against the Current. Don Brocco was pretty cool. They have a very unique sound. I recommend you check them out. With Confidence, they're from Australia. They're a general traditional pop-punk band. And Against the Current, they're a bit more poppy than, you know, than pop-punk, but they were still pretty entertaining. They're female-fronted, so that's another thing. If you like those kinds of bands, Against the Current is definitely a band you should check out. And then State Champs, and they were wicked fun. Next band I saw in my little series, I saw it like the beginning of the next week. My 3rd time seeing this band. They're a band that, you know, I always like seeing whenever they go on tour, for the most part, and this would be Bayside, my 2nd favorite band after Alter Bridge. I love Bayside so very much. Their music is well written and interesting, has good parts. I can't recommend them enough. Even if you're not a fan of pop punk, they're a band that you must listen to some songs by, especially some stuff from The Walking Wounded, which is 10 years old this year, and they're touring later for the 10-year anniversary of that album, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna want to catch that. I don't really like seeing a band twice in the same year or too close to when I last saw them. I don't know. It's still up in the air. I went to New York to see this show because I was already seeing State Champs when they were playing in Boston. So I figured, hey, gotta see Bayside, so if I want to see them, I guess I'll go back to New York. They're playing at PlayStation Theater, which is my favorite venue in all of New York, which is the place that they played at when I first saw them live, which was a nice throwback there. It was awesome. This was, of course, the design I like the best. Every time I see them, the shirt that I get always ends up trumping the previous design, because I like the design of this one more than my previous one, even though I like the colors of that one better. And it was the same effect with the one before that. This one features the bird that's a part of their logo, and it's a pretty interesting color design, this purple, green, brown, white kind of thing going. It's not bad looking. And opening for Bayside, they had Hot Rod Circuit and Say Anything. Say Anything I was already familiar with. They're great. They're a very respected, you know, early 2000s emo pop punk band. And same with Hot Rod Circuit. I didn't know who Hot Rod Circuit were before this show, but they apparently have been around for a while, and they were pretty good. I looked into them when I got back home, and they're a good band. If you like Say Anything, then Hot Rod Circuit is definitely your thing there too. And Bayside, of course, was always just really entertaining. They left out a lot of songs I was hoping they would play, but they do vary their set lists. They don't play like the same set like every show. They always change some things up and vary, you know, the song choices from each of the albums. More or less, that's what they do, and I like that they do that. So, it's always nice. So, I'm gonna end this episode here and continue on in the next episode, because I think this has been going on for a while. I don't want this to be too long. So, tune in to the next episode coming up, well, next. I'm Shades, and I'll see you then.